Hello traders, this is Jason with MotiveWave. Welcome to the webinar on order entry with MotiveWave. The topics we will cover today are price axis, buy and sell buttons, trade panel, custom orders, DOM, and exit strategies. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to attend. Today's presentation will be approximately 30 to 40 minutes, and there will be a Q&A section at the end of the presentation. There should be a Q&A button at the bottom of Zoom where you'll be able to type in your questions. The webinar recording will be posted to YouTube and the video tutorial section on our website. If you're watching this webinar on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. All right, so before we get into the content, I just have to go over a quick disclaimer. So there is substantial risk of loss in trading commodity futures, options, stocks, equities, indices, cryptocurrencies, and foreign exchange products. Futures and options trading has large potential reward and also large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the markets. And please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. We've posted CFTC Rule 4.41 for you to read. And just want to mention that MotiveWave has a 14-day risk-free trial, and you can sign up at motivewave.com. Okay, so let's start out. So let's start off by enabling our internal simulated account. And we can do this by going into the Configure Preferences menu, or by clicking this Configure Preferences gear icon in the top right toolbar. We can go over to General and Simulated Account. And we're just going to enable the internal SIM account. And we're also going to enable SIM trade only option so that our trades we make can only take place on the simulated account. This will remove the risk of us accidentally placing trades on our live account. So let's go ahead and click OK now. So the first place we can enter orders is from the price axis. So we do this by moving our cursor over to the price axis, and it will change to a target icon. As you can see, it's showing a red target icon, LMT, and a blue target icon, LMT. So by default, when no modifier key is pressed, we can enter a limit buy below price and a limit sell above price. And you'll see the cursor change from blue to red, depending on if the order is a buy or sell order. Clicking on the price axis like this will not transmit the order to the exchange. If we want to transmit the order, we need to select the T to transmit. And we can see that we are being blocked from submitting this trade because I have not selected our simulated account. So we can go ahead and discard that order, go to our simulated account, and click to place an order. T to transmit, and C will cancel the order. If we create an order and we change our mind and want to discard it, we can click the D button for discard. So we can change the default order types and modifier keys by going to the Configure Preferences menu under Orders and Submission. The Create Order option here is what you can select to create an order by a single left click or else a right click. As mentioned, these options will create the order, but the order will not be submitted to the exchange. The auto submit option is if you'd like to automatically submit your order without pressing the T button. And you can do so by double clicking the price axis at the desired price level. You can also set this to right click or none. We can completely disable price axis trading by unchecking this option called price axis trading. We do recommend that you disable this if you primarily trade via the trade panel or DOM. This way you won't accidentally place a trade on the price axis. So moving down to the buy sell box trading. So this will enable or disable the ability to place trades from the watch list buy sell boxes. So let's quickly take a look. We have a watch list down here and we can bring up buy sell boxes. So we could place orders by double clicking in these buy sell boxes here, and we can disable that from the configure preferences menu. Okay, so the key modifiers down here will allow you to change the defaults for order placement. A simple left click will submit a limit orders, but this can be changed to a stop order, a market order, etc. Holding down the shift key and clicking the price axis will submit a market order by default, but this can be changed. Holding down the control key will submit a stop order. So let's take a look at this on the chart right now. So if we want to auto submit an order, we can just double click on the price axis and we can see it was submitted. Now, if I hold down my control key below price, you can see there's a little icon with STP, that's a stop order. So that's going to create a sell stop order below price. And holding down the control key above is going to create a buy stop order above price. Holding down the shift key above price will create a sell market order, and below price, it'll be a buy market order. So let's place a limit order on the price axis. So I can click above price to create a limit sell order. And we can change this if we want. We can move it. We can click and drag to move price. And then we can click T for transmit. So now this order has been sent to the broker. And I can actually click and drag the submitted order to modify the limit price. By default, modifications to submitted orders will be sent automatically, but this can be changed in the configure preferences menu under orders, auto submit modified orders. So if I uncheck this now and make a modification to the order, it's not going to submit it, and I'm going to have to press transmit in order to transmit those changes. So we can go ahead and we're just going to enable that again. So if I place an order on the chart axis, I'm able to right click the order and quickly change quantities if I like. I can also edit the order ticket, cancel the order, or cancel all orders. I can also double click this order here, and it's going to bring up the order ticket so I can make modifications to quantity. I can modify the price. I can add a limit and stop. So let's do that now. And the other way to modify an order is just by single left clicking this order right here, and it's going to bring up the order, if before I create the order or submit the order, if I click this, it's going to bring me over to the order tab on the trade panel. So I can make modifications from here as well. And then I could submit my order if I wanted. Okay, so the other way to submit orders is by right-clicking the price axis. So if I go ahead and right-click and select trade, you can see I can select limit order, stop order, limit and stop, and let's say limit plus stop and limit. So I'll go ahead and create that. And then you can see I have attached orders. Well, you may be wondering, how do we set these offsets for the stop and profit target orders from the right-click trade option? Well, this can be done using the order presets. So if we want to change these presets for an entire asset class, we would go to Configure, Order Presets. And you can see we can change the default order type from limit. We can change default quantities. So let's go ahead and change our limit offset to 24 ticks and our stop offset to 24 ticks. And maybe we're not going to be trading 25 contracts on the ES, so we can remove 25, remove 10, and then maybe we want to add 4 as an option. We're going to click Update. And now we're going to place this trade again. And you can see we have 24 ticks in between. And if we want to right click and edit it, we now have 2, 3, 4, and 5 as default order sizes. Okay, so we can change these presets on an individual instrument level as well. So this would actually override the global asset class settings that we just changed right now. So in order to do this, we just right click the chart and select Edit Instrument. And at the bottom of the dialog, there's an Order Presets button. So just click this. And now you're actually to make any changes to ESZ1 that you'd like. This is pretty important for something like NQ because you'd want definitely different offsets on NQ than you would on the ES. All right, so let's move on to the next way to place a trade, and that is with buy and sell buttons. So buy and sell buttons can be added to the chart via chart labels. To do this, we just double click the chart to bring up the chart settings. And on the labels tab here, we can add the buy button, and we can find the sell button and add both of these. And then we can modify them, maybe place them in the top right corner. And then click OK to add them. So if we want these buttons placed on all of our charts, then you'd want to do this from the global preferences by going to the Configure, Preferences, Chart, Labels, and adding them here would make them show up on all of our charts. But if you just want them on a single chart, you do it from the chart settings. So now that we have the buttons on the chart, we can click the buy or sell button to bring up an order ticket. So we can do that now. Let's create a buy. And then we can select the type. We can select limit. We could set a limit price, add attached orders, and then click submit. Okay, so that's just a quick way to place trades from the chart without having a trade panel or DOM open, just in case you need the extra room on your chart. Okay, so the next method is actually from the trade panel. So in order to display the trade panel, you'll need to select the desired chart and then go to View, Display Trade Panel. Alt-T is the keyboard shortcut for a trade panel. Or you can press this little button up here. This is the trade panel button. So the trade panel has 3 different tab options. The position tab can be used to enter orders and see your current position and profit and loss. The order tab can be used to create orders, and it will be the tab that is displayed if you're modifying an order. The buy sell tab will simply display a buy sell box that can be used to enter and exit an order quickly at market and allow you to view the current spread. So you can double click on either the bid or ask to execute a market order. All right, so let's move on to custom orders. So custom orders can be placed by creating custom buttons or by using custom hotkeys. These 2 features are only available on the Professional and Ultimate editions. So let's start out with custom buttons, which can be added to the trade panel or the DOM. So let's head over to the trade panel preferences by clicking this gear icon and over to the panels tab. Here we can add new tabs or modify and delete existing ones. So let's start by modifying the position tab. And we can see that our position tab has a grid pane with the quantity chooser, the time and force chooser, exit strategy below that. And we have a grid pane with a bunch of buttons, which includes a flatten all. And the flatten all will cancel all outstanding orders on that instrument and then close your open position on that instrument. The cancel all button will cancel all open orders, but leave your position alone. Break even will move your stop to break even, and reverse will simply reverse your position. So let's go ahead and add a custom button. So we can go ahead and click on the grid pane where the buy market, sell market buttons are, and click the edit button. And now we could add a button. Let's say we want to add a buy bid button. We're going to span it one column. So there's a total of 2 columns here. We're just going to span it one column. And then we're going to call it bid -1. And it's going to buy the bid -1 tick. So we'll click OK. And then we create a new one called sell ask. And we're going to call it ask +1. And we're going to add a tick. So it's going to be the current best ask +1 tick. Go ahead. And then we can actually move these up. So we'll probably place them right here. Click OK, OK, OK. And now we have our custom button. So if I just click bid -1, it's going to create a limit order, 1 tick below the best bid. And we may or may not get filled here. So we can just cancel that. So this can also be done on the DOM by going into the DOM preferences. Quickly open up a DOM here, DOM preferences, and the bottom panel. So you can edit this bottom panel as well on the DOM. Okay, so we can also create custom order hotkeys. To do this, let's head to the Configure Preferences menu and go to General, Keyboard, Custom Orders. So to create one, we just need to press the plus icon here. And let's call this buy with exit. And then you can select a keyboard shortcut. In this instance, I'm going to do Control left bracket. Okay. And we want to buy time and force. We can inherit that from the trade panel. Quantity, we can inherit that as well. But we want to select a different exit strategy. So what I'm going to do is select my bracket 1 exit strategy and set in order type of market. So I can click OK and then click OK again. And now if I use my control hotkey, control left bracket hotkey, you can see that I went in that market and it attached my exit strategy as well. So we can flatten all to get out of that position. So that's how you create custom orders via the custom buttons or the custom order hotkeys. So let's move on to the next method of order entry, which is the depth of market or the DOM. So I currently have all the columns enabled here. If you'd like to add or remove columns, you can click this plus icon to the far right side of the column header, right up here. I'll expand this a little more. Right up here, and then you can see we have our option to add or remove the different DOM columns. So let's go through some of the columns here. The orders column, so this just displays an active order at each price level. So this includes limit orders, stop orders, etc. So let's do a quick example. If I want to unlock the DOM to be able to place a trade, I just click this lock icon here. And now I can click 46.56.50 to create a limit sell. Oh, and it's telling me that I don't have my simulated account checked again. So we'll try that again. And you can see our limit order is here. And we can cancel this limit order by clicking the C for cancel. The notes column can be used to display text notes at any price level in the DOM. So all you do is just click the price and then create a note, and we can set it to a specific color for the background. We can draw a line and a label on the chart as well. So all I have to do is click away, and now we have a text label here. We could create another one. Let's call it close. Do a different color. And there we go. If we'd like to delete any of these, you can click on them, click the delete key, and then uncheck these options. and they will be deleted. You can also click this eraser button here, and that will remove all the notes. So you could do this at the end of your trading day and just remove all the notes that you've created. So let's just enter a quick trade so we can see an example of the PL columns. So we'll buy market here. And we can see that the PL column shows the profit and loss for each price level in a dollar value using the current open position. So this would change if I had 2 contracts on, it would be $25 a tick. And the PL price column shows the profit and loss in point value. So quarter point, half point, 3/4 point, and a full point. This is for your open position. The price displays the price level for the row. LTQ, which stands for last traded quantity, will display the cumulative total of all contracts traded since a trade was completed at another price. So this column resets each time a trade occurs at a different price. The bid displays quantities of current limit buy orders at the given price. And the ask displays quantities of the current limit sell orders at the given price. In the middle here, we have the at bid and at ask. These show the number of contracts that were recently traded at the bid and ask prices since the last reset. And we can actually do a manual reset on this by clicking this button right here in the top toolbar. So I can clear all those. And now it will start accumulating from there. So the at bid and at ask columns will reset themselves automatically once price has left a level for 2.5 seconds, but this interval can be changed in the DOM preferences. All right, on to volume. So volume just displays the total contracts traded at each price level. The bid and ask here will combine the bid and ask columns into a single column. So we could just use this instead of both the bid and ask, just a good way to save space. The bid delta and ask delta track the difference in contracts being added and subtracted from the current bid and ask columns. So think of these as pulling and stacking. These values are calculated on every DOM book update, and they're reset each time the bid and ask change. The bid count and the ask count just displays the number of orders which make up the total contracts in the bid and ask fields. So, for example, we have 4653. We have 67 contracts at this level with a total of 31 total orders made up that 67 contracts. And the bid ask count is just one column that combines these two, another way to save space. So the bid volume and ask volume will show the volume traded at the bid price and the ask price for that price level. And the delta volume, finally, is the difference between the ask and bid volume at the given price. So this is the delta at that price. All right, so we can now go over trade entry on the DOM. So first of all, we need to unlock the DOM, which we did before. We need to do this in order to place trades. And if you want to enter a limit buy order, you can click the corresponding price level in the bid column, like so. If we wanted to place a buy stop order, we would select a price that is above the current bid and ask. So we could do that up here, and you can see my cursor has turned into a buy STP for stop. So we can do that there. Okay, so all buy orders are placed in the bid column, and all sell orders are placed in the ask column. So let's take a look at the top toolbar in the DOM here. We've already been over this, how to clear the notes. This button will clear notes. This button here will reset the at bid and at ask columns. We've been over that. This button here will manually recenter the DOM. So if I click it, it's going to recenter that for us. Say the DOM's getting away, we can manually recenter it. This will lock and unlock the DOM. And this button here is going to allow us to create DOM templates. Let's say we created a DOM that we really like. We can just go ahead and save a template and then open that template up on different charts. And finally, we have the DOM preferences. So we can open that now and take a look through some of the DOM preferences. All right, so rows. So this is the number of rows displayed in the DOM. So for an instrument that trades a large range, this number may need to be increased to see a full day's range. So let's say we have, a huge down day like we did the other day, or a huge up day. On the NQ, you may need to change this to 2000 rows to see every row in the DOM. The max depth can be used to limit the number of rows displaying depth levels. So this can be used for connections that display the full book. It'll just help your CPU, won't be so taxing on your CPU. Recenter is the number of rows the current bid ask will go away from center before it is automatically recentered. The disable recenter when mouse is above table. So this option, when enabled, will not automatically recenter the DOM when your mouse is hovering over the DOM table. So if you ever tried to place an order, you're clicking just as the DOM recenters and you misclick and it places a trade on a different price level. Enabling this will stop that from happening. The update interval is the interval that the DOM will update. So if you're having performance issues, you could increase this number to something like 200 or 300 milliseconds. Another option right here, stripe rows, will show the alternating color striping on the DOM. As you can see, we go from a dark gray to a lighter gray. Disabling this will just make it all one single color. We jump over to the order tab. We can set our order defaults here, and we can set key modifiers just for the DOM. The bottom panel tab can be used to modify the layout and buttons, as we showed earlier. On the dividers tab, the center divider can be used to place a line at the center of the DOM. So this is just a static line that stays at center. The bid divider is used to place a line just above the bid price. So this will follow it up and down, and this is what's on by default. Just a quick visual way for you to see the best bid and best ask. The offset divider will place lines where the DOM will automatically recenter. So let's take a quick look at that. So we can see with this enabled, if price gets up to 46.57.25, it's going to recenter. So just giving you a visual indication of where price has to go to before it's going to recenter the DOM. And the high and low dividers will just place a divider at the session high and low. So the rest of the tabs will allow you to make changes to DOM columns and different features. So one feature of note is on the bid ask tab, and that's market by order, or MBO. So for those that are unaware, market by order allows you to see individual orders in the book. We can use this information to display actual limit order sizes in the DOM. And this can be useful if you want to display, say, large resting orders in the book. The MBO features are only currently available on Rhythmic or any broker that connects via Rhythmic. So we have MBO enabled. We will also probably want to enable an MBO filter. So what this is going to do, since the cache session is closed, we're just going to change this to 10. It's going to show us any orders that are 10 contracts or larger. And you'll also want to enable the MBO font, which is going to show you the actual size. So we've enabled that here. Click OK. And then you can look in the bid and ask columns and see individual order sizes. Now, if we want to see this, we may need to expand the ask column here. And then you can start to see the individual order sizes. Since the cash market is closed, there aren't a lot of orders sitting here. So, we have a 25 lot here, 20 lot there, a 35 lot up here. And the far right side, or the far side over here, is the end of the queue. And this side over here is the front of the queue. So it gives you a visual indication of where this order is sitting inside the queue. All right, so exit strategies. Let's move on to the final section. So exit strategies can be automatically or manually attached to open positions from the DOM or trade panel. If your exit strategy is enabled, so that it's enabled by clicking this power button here, which turns green. So once this is enabled, the selected exit strategy from the drop-down menu will be automatically attached to any order you have placed in the DOM, trade panel, or chart. Let's just quickly close that up. So let's go ahead and create an exit strategy and go through a trade example. So I'm just going to flatten that position now. And you can go and create an exit strategy in the trade panel or DOM preferences menu by clicking the gear icon and then going to the exit strategies tab. We can click a new one here and we'll call this one ES. We can set the offset type to ticks, and the break even option here, if enabled, in this instance, after 10 ticks in profit, it will bump your stop up to break even. And you're also able to add an offset. So adding a positive offset of 1 tick would move your stop to break even plus 1 tick. And you could use that 1 tick to cover commissions if you wanted. And you can set varying steps for your exit strategy. So you could exit in profit with a target offset, of 10, 20, 30 ticks if you wanted. And you can add different steps by clicking the green plus icon or removing them by clicking the X icon. And the quantity, you want all steps to equal 100%. So since we have 2, we're just going to do 50-50. And our stop offset, we're going to set to, let's do 12 ticks. And target offset, we're going to do 16 ticks for the first one. And let's say 24 ticks for the second. Click OK. And OK again. And now we could select our ES exit strategy. And exit strategy is enabled. So any order we place, whether that's a limit order, we could do a buy market order, it's going to attach this exit strategy. So I'll do that now. I'll set my quantity to 2, and I'm going to buy market. And you can see we have 2 stop orders, 12 ticks away right here. And we have a profit target at, I think it was 16 and 24 there. So let's flatten that position now. And we also have the ability to attach the exit strategy to an existing position. So let's say we entered a position and we didn't have our exit strategy enabled. So we're currently in a position. All we have to do to attach an exit strategy is enable the exit strategies and then click this paperclip icon, which just means attach. If you go into your DOM preferences on the order tab, you can set your exit attach to either the entry price that we have, or you can actually set it to the last price as well. But in this case, we wanted to set it to entry price. So we just click the attach button, and now it's attached our stops and our profit targets here. So we can go ahead and we're going to flatten that now. Okay, so that concludes the presentation. And just before we jump into the Q&A section.
Ravi's got one here. Can you talk about OCO?
Any specific question regarding OCO?
No, but maybe we should mention that that's all going to depend on the supporting broker, whether it's native or whether MotiveWave has to be running. Maybe that's a good point we can mention.
Okay, you can submit OCOs from your right click, trade, OCO limit and stop. You could do that. You can attach them from the order panel through this option here. And then you can also do them from the DOM using the exit strategies.
Okay. We have a question here. How do I get MotiveWave? That would be with either the Ultimate or the MotiveWave Lite Edition. Rohan, disable transfer button. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Perhaps you can provide us some more details.
Yeah, maybe you mean auto submit, in which case you could just use a double click or right click. I see Tan says, can we buy fractional shares? Not currently. So Interactive Brokers does allow this, you're correct, but we cannot currently do this at the moment.
I pay by the year. How do I check how much time I have left? You can check under, if you go in MotiveWave under Help About menu, if you're referring to the annual updates and support, take a look there. It should give you an expiry date of when your updates and support expire. Can we make a button to sell a percentage of a position?
I don't believe we have that functionality currently, do we, Joe?
No, I do know that that's on our feature request.
Yeah. The only way right now would be just using the exit strategies to sell just a certain percentage at different levels.
Kevin's asking, how do you set trailing stops?
If you want to do them via the trade panel, you could right click. Oops, excuse me. Now I have right click as auto submit. Let's just change that. You could add a limit plus a trail here. So you could do that. You could add it from the order tab on the trade panel and then just enable this trail, and it's going to trail by 2.5 points here. And then you could do it via the exit strategies as well.
Sorties is asking, can the target price be set in an exit strategy?
If you mean specific price, no, it can't. We just use offsets from your entry price.
Correct.
So you could set an offset, and then what you could do is you could just modify it yourself. You could enter the order, and then all you'd have to do is just kind of click and drag these and move them wherever you wanted them.
Can we set it to sell at 50 DMA? I guess you could do that. I guess he's asking with a study. I guess if you have advanced alerts, I guess we could do it that way. If an alert is hit, you could set up, create an alert and then set trading.
Right, you'd have to have the
put the study on. Yeah.
Is DMA displaced moving averages? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I don't use DMA.
Yeah. It's all right. We can just place that just to show how it would actually be triggered.
And then you'd create an alert. You'd need advanced alerts. So this would be Pro and Ultimate. And then this one, you'd add an indicator. It'll be, let's say, DMA or greater than DMA. And then you could place from this alert trigger, you can place a trade on alert activated. So I guess, yes, you could do that.
Okay. Darren's asking, I see a flatten all and cancel all button. But is there a cancel to just cancel buy limit orders and a button to cancel just sell limit orders? I'd say no to that.
Not currently, although I know that's been requested before, and that's kind of on our list. Let me just quickly check here for you. I don't believe we can cancel. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, we can. You'd need the Pro or Ultimate, and then you can add your own custom button that cancels either your buys or your sells.
We couldn't do that with the hockey though, can we? I don't think we can.
Oh, sorry, was that for hockey?
You did mention hockey, yeah.
Okay, my mistake.
Well, let's check. Maybe we can.
Yeah, I don't think so. Okay.
No, I see cancel orders, but you can't just pick. I don't see just
Yeah.
buy side or sell side there.
Okay. Maybe you could email in and request that. That's a good request. That would be a nice option to have as a keyboard shortcut. Or maybe you already have requested it. I'm not quite sure. So Brian's asking what's the best way to submit feature requests. That's just email support@motivewave.com.
Mark is asking, is there a bar countdown timer?
Yeah, there is. You can add it to your chart. You can go into your chart settings, labels, and then we have a bar countdown right there. Lauren asks, add paperclip. Is it always per your position? Yes, it is. So when you're attaching an exit strategy, it's always looking at your current open position and attaching it based on that.
Will MBO be available for CQG in the future?
That's a good question. I know with their new API, they have some MBO functionality enabled. But I don't have an answer for you if we will be implementing that or not. I know we will be looking into it in the future, but as far as I knew, their current implementation was only MBO for the inside 5 levels, which is not extremely useful. So maybe email in and we can get some more information for you.
Okay. George is asking, is there a quick way to find out what a button is for when I'm not sure? Best thing to do is if you're not sure about anything, just make sure if you're referring to buttons with trade functionality, just make sure you're in the simulated account. You have the simulated account selected. That way you can play around with it and then know the expected behavior.
And you can also email us as well.
Yeah.
And we should be able to let you know.
Yeah, if you get stuck. Is MotiveWave software standalone or is it compatible with Ninja 8? No, it's standalone. MotiveWave is standalone. Thanks for the question, Mike.
I'm going to grab one here, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zach. He says, I have multiple trading accounts. Can I connect both and switch between them, trade both simultaneously, or do I have to disconnect completely and then connect to my other account to put in a trade? So Zach, on the professional and ultimate editions, you can connect multiple brokers. So if you have Pro or Ultimate, you can do this. You just, when you're creating your workspace, you just go in, modify, and then add another connection, and that's not a problem. If you're on an edition lower, say you're on order flow, you just need to be running 2 different instances of MotiveWave. So you could start up MotiveWave twice, running 2 different workspaces.
Yeah, the only caveat with that is, I guess, if you're running if you have 2 separate Rhythmic accounts, you should have 2 separate workspaces for that, right? You don't want to have two
Rhythmic accounts in the same workspace. That's right, Joe.
Yeah.
Good call.
One more, Jason?
Sure.
Are the functions in the sim account the same as the live account?
It depends on the connection, but I would say no. Each connection is different. They can be close though. Anything more to add, Joe?
Other than the fact that the main purpose of the sim account is if you can get a demo account, that's always a better way to get a better reflection of how the interaction as far as order types with the broker is. The sim account's a great tool, but again, depending one of the main features of the SIM account was to deal with, let's just say you have a feed and you don't have an account with a broker and you want to try to test out some trading, right? Then the simulated account, you enable it, and now you have that ability to do that with a feed. Again, you can do that, not a problem with the broker, but if you have the ability to get an actual demo account with the broker, that would reflect more accurately the behavior you can expect from being connected to that broker. Now, I'm not talking about liquidity. I'm just talking about actual available order types, that sort of stuff.
Any more, Joe? Or are we good for now?
I think we're good for now because we're sort of running a bit over time here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good for now. And for any of you that have had your questions answered, feel free to email us support@motivewave.com. If they're sales related, feel free to email sales@motivewave.com and we'll get those questions answered for you.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks, Joe. And thanks everybody for joining us today. We appreciate you taking your time out of your day to attend. And this webinar will be posted on YouTube and our website. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.
Okay, bye.